That's right, our Facebook family and also our YouTube family. What's going on, everybody? Back again at the Truth Session, where your thoughts really count. And we appreciate you once again for dialing in, for stopping by to visit us, to have a conversation, to participate in what the one calls the talkback system. As you know, we have had an awesome time. Things have just been getting progressively better and better and better. More information has been dropped on us. And we've had such a spread these past few weeks, past few months. Listen, you need help to miss what we're saying to you. Because we're breaking it down to its rudimentary aspect so that you can ascertain it, retain it, so that you can get a drawing. Thank you once again for stopping by here at the Truth Session. Those of you who are on Facebook, we want you to know that if by any chance our Facebook feed goes down, you can always tap into the YouTube channel where we're broadcasting live at this moment. We don't take your thoughts for granted. We don't take your time for granted. I realize one thing. Once it's gone, you can't get it back. Therefore, I say unto you, use your time wisely. Use your time wisely. Truth Session family. This is a season where we want to gather in as much as we can so that we can move forward as much as we can. Where our thoughts can be clear, our vision can be crystal clear, where we can have foresight, foreknowledge, and make an informed decision because it's in our best interest to do so. And I'm excited about this. Even in my most resolved state, I am excited about what we're doing here at the Truth Session. Of course, you have surmised by now that I am the master teacher, the quantum shifter, the shapeshifter, the code breaker. Sitting in the master seat. I'm going to call it the master seat today. Sitting in the master seat for the one, the apostle, the prophet, the cosmic commander. Oh, we're riding this thing. And I promise you, he's going to be back at you soon. Take you to a place where you've never gone before. And so we understand the importance of this season on how we need to move, how we need to navigate through this terrain. We want you to come on in and walk with us. We say greetings, greetings, greetings unto you. Shalom Aleichem. Assalamu Alaikum. Hotep, Abargani, Amani Kaka, Amani Dada, Hola, Bonjour, Konnichiwa. Come on and walk with us. Listen, let somebody know that Truth Session is in session and that you're about to take a journey and about to be put up on free game. We don't charge you anything for being a part of the Truth Session. We just simply ask that you support and donate, that we can keep this thing rolling on, where we can make proper moves, going to different venues, meet new people, make connections and build relationships, whether they be long-term or symbiotic. We need to make connections and build relationships, because that's how we extend ourselves. We become extensions of one another without being bound by time. That's right. We're talking about the discontinuity of time in mathematics. So we're definitely trying not to be, or we will not be bound by the constraints of natural time. That's not how we operate. We things done by superabounding above normal time limits. Listen, come on and walk with us as I get to sit up here and send out some notices and hit this share button myself and send it to specific groups and people. Come on, as the Prince of Peace. Get your ear gates ready and create sight with this sound. Come on and walk with us. Listen, I'm starting early to wet my whistle. Neck to back. Katie Royal Rain. Come on in, brother. Come on and hit that share button, somebody. We're going to get this party started. And I'm not going to be before you long, but I just want to drop some additional information on you. Based on what we did last truth session. Talking about the discontinuity of time in mathematics. What a powerful subject. What a powerful entity. Greetings, Priestess Lavelle. We see you in the house. Such a powerful masterpiece to be talking about quantum energy, quantum physics, discontinuity, mathematics, time. All of it has its place in connection, yet while being separate entities. And that's exactly what we're talking about, the discontinuity of time, yet separate but still working synergistically so that we can get a certain thing done. Let me go back to this. I'm going to jump into this right away. I want to go right back to the word discontinuity. And I'm being redundant for a reason, and I learned that from the one to continue to bring this information and drum it home and be redundant, because sometimes we don't quite get it the first time. Sometimes we don't quite hear everything we need to hear the first time. So we may need that second time around to ease our mind. Maybe the third time. This is part 3. Maybe you'll hear something that you didn't hear last week or the week before. But watch this discontinuity by definition. Merriam-Webster College Dictionary. The lack of cohesion or continuity. It also means gap. And last week we talked about that the acronyms GAP was Greenwood, Archer, and Pine, dealing with the gap band, how there was a break in the flow, how there was discontinuity in their financial market, how Black Wall Street was destroyed, how Gainesville was destroyed. There was a gap, a fissure. It also means the property of being not mathematically continuous, a point of discontinuity. It also means an instance of being mathematically or not being continuous, especially when you're dealing with independent variables in a function. And we broke down dealing with function how a certain quantity or entity is a function if and only if it has one input that's associated with one output. Now it's functioning. You can't put in one financial quantity in a vending machine and simultaneously get two things out. That machine is not functioning. So when you're talking about independent variables, it works aside from everything else. For example, parents, leaders, they're considered independent. But those who work under them, namely their children or subjects, they are what? Dependents. So dependents do what? Depend on or rely on independence. So a value of an independent variable in which a function is not continuous. Watch this. Also, according to Oxford Online Dictionary, discontinuity, a break in physical continuity or sequence in time. So there's a break in time. So that lends us to believe or to know that we're not bound by a certain time frame. We can rise above it. We can operate alongside it. We can operate despite its constraints. And I like that because it always tells me that I have a way out, a way of escape, another avenue, a tributary I can tap into, a road. Come on, somebody. A sharp difference of characteristics between parts of something. So there is a sharp difference, a distinct difference. A point where something is discontinuous or undefined. At this particular point, things are not defined, which means I can always have a brand new starting point, because at this particular juncture, nothing is defined. I can create a definition. I can create a movement. This particular point in my life, I can create some movement. I can call grounding. We're filled full of protons, neutrons, electrons. I can go out and balance myself, walk out in the grass, in the dirt, in the earth, tap into the negative charge or negatively charged particles called electrons and ground myself and balance myself, operating independent of what is currently taking place in our eye gates. That's discontinuity. And then we talked about something that was very, very powerful. We broke down the various types of discontinuity. And I've got to go back to this. I want to be redundant because I want to take it somewhere else. We talked about one of the discontinuity figures was jump, how you can be at one status and can jump or quantum leap and not take what isn't essential, and I'll get to that here in just a second. What isn't essential, we can leave it behind. We can leap or we can jump. We talked about it relating to the Nike symbol Jumpman that was created by Michael Jordan. How it all plays a part in the ability to leap, the ability to get up and not stay down. You know the old saying, I was down so long that getting up never crossed my mind. Well, in this particular situation, we have the ability to jump, to get up. Watch this. And then we also tapped into removable. How we can remove a certain situation or remove ourselves from a situation and launch from there, which means here is our discontinuity. I don't have to be attached to this in order to be successful. I can literally, at this point, detach from all that led me up to this point and then go on to be successful. Because as we learned last week, things operate independently of systematic steps. And I admonish you to go back and watch part 2 because we dropped some very, very, very powerful nuggets. Very powerful nuggets. I just want to talk to you for a second and just want to teach just a little bit. Just kind of walk you through it just to ease your mind and ease you into this. And that third discontinuity we talked about was what? Infinity. How things can move separately and independently, but in an infinite manner. So it can start out in a certain position, but all of a sudden, it can grow exponentially. We can go from negative infinity to positive infinity. How many of you have sensed something from the past and you just knew that it was going somewhere positive? You can sense it. You can feel it in your body. You can see it in your thoughts. I know that once I get to this particular point, things are going to elevate and escalate. We've all had those epiphanies, those prophetic movements and dreams and thoughts, entanglements. We've gone to those places and spaces and time, positioned some things, went back in time. Palagenesia, we talked about that. We've gone back in time to move forward. Then we've moved forward in time, positioned some things, and then carried out present operations. So that when we moved forward and got to those particular spaces and places and time, there was an annuity waiting on us. Yeah, those dividends, we talked about that last week. An annuity, when we realize we've positioned ourselves to reap the benefits of our movements, our annuity, our annual increase. Watch this. And then we finally moved on to essential. Essential. And that's where I want to launch from. Essential discontinuity. Very powerful, very powerful. Essential. A discontinuity in which one isn't of the other previous three types. It's got its own flavor. At least of a one-sided, could be negative, or a positive infinity movement. For example, an essential discontinuity beginning at zero. It can take rise to go in either direction over a continuous interval, but yet within that interval, there are some breaks. Watch this. As we showed you last week, the symbol of discontinuity. One of them was essential. We talked about it. Very powerful. Essential. And its breakdown looked similar to this. Queen Octavia talked about it. It also looked like stock market, the movement of money, annuity, but also talking about the heartbeat, the pulse, the heartbeat, the feeling, the ethos of a matter. What are your thoughts? How do you feel about moving forward? How do you feel about your current situation? Do you feel you have the ability to move forward and past it? Can you get out of it? Do you have the wherewithal, my YouTube family? The wherewithal, I see you. The intuitive one, Brother Craig Leverett, is in the house. Do you have the wherewithal to jump, to remove, to be essential, to operate as an infinite being? Watch this. In this word, essential, or essential, or incha. Watch this. Powerful. We talked about it. We talked about how things are essential. Make sure this is positioned. Watch this. I-N or E-N could be superimposed. E-N-T-I-A. According to Collins Dictionary, look at this. A noun, meaning being or existence in the most general abstract sense. Oh my goodness. So it means a being, to come into being, or existence. That's talking about time. All of a sudden, it's the Hebrew word haya, to come into being. All of a sudden, haya, you came into being. You manifested, you showed up. Nothing was happening, but suddenly, you came into being. E-N-T-I-A. You showed up. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, you showed up. You manifested in time. There's a break. Things weren't going too well, but all of a sudden you showed up. Oh yeah, I see you. Hashtag oh yeah, the one. Not only that, watch this. Watch this, the one. The apostle, the prophet, the cosmic commander. It means A real thing. Oh my goodness. All of a sudden a real thing showed up. We had experienced all the fake, the frauds, the phonies. But in the nick of time, the one showed up. Or the real thing showed up. Especially as opposed to an attribute or an entity. It wasn't just an attribute. It wasn't just an entity. Guess what? The real thing showed up. Somebody better talk to me up in here. Yeah. The real thing showed up. You manifested as the real thing. The other one was just under a trial, a tribulation. You had to peel it back to see what was in it. Hashtag the real thing, the one I see you. Yeah, you got the right one, baby. Oh my goodness. That's powerful. Sitting right in the word essential. Watch this. We also talked about the word discontinuity, meaning a gap. And I'm going to show you how time moves on. Let me take my time with this because I want to break some things down. So often we've been given information about the earth itself, showing you how all this ties into discontinuity and gap. Watch this. Oh my goodness. The word essential. And I'm going to put this, I want to put this on the board. I'll put the words so you can progressively see how they connect. Just so you can see them in your eye gates. The word essential. Through etymology, also means the word moment. It also means the word moment. And I'm going to get to that in just a second. The word moment also translates to consequences. It translates to the word consequences. Consequences also translates or akin to or relates to the word chaos. Come on, stay with me. So we got essential, which is one of the terms for discontinuity or the types, which translate to moment. Get my point in here. Moment takes us to consequences, and consequences takes us to chaos. All of this out of the word essential. Watch this. And as a backdrop, I want to go back to the sacred text. And as a disclaimer, I'm not trying to save anybody. I'm not trying to preach to you. It's just for educational purposes only. Greetings, Andrea Collins. On our YouTube page. Thank you to one. See if I can. One second. Let's see if I can. There we go. Watch this. Execution. Buddy, I see you in the house. Kegs, I see you in the house. Andrea Collins, I see you in the house. Watch this, everybody. Bereshit, commonly referred to as Genesis, was actually enunciated Genesis. It's Greek. But in Hebrew, it's Bereshit. Watch this. And again, I'm not preaching to you. I'm not trying to save you. I'm using this as a backdrop. Watch this. In the beginning, it says God created heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void. And darkness, or koshek, was upon the face of the deep. Without form and void. And darkness. Watch this. Without form and void. Meaning empty. Disorder. Confusion. Emptiness. Emptiness that exists without structure, without purpose, without meaning. Watch this. It means chaos, consequences, chaos, moment, essential. There was no essential moment in time. Chaos, confusion, no consequences. Watch this. So when relating consequences to time, we're talking about neglecting order or disorder, the lack of discipline, dysfunctional. Things were dysfunctional. If you look at the essential model, it looks like things are jumbled up and what? Dysfunctional, chaotic. But watch this from a moral and spiritual sense when you're dealing with the word consequences. It means a life without moral guidance or purpose may feel emptiness or directionless, no direction. Oh boy, I'm going there in a moment. Similar to void. So void also means gap. So we see, and I can literally, and I'm going to put it up here right in the center. Oh my goodness. We've been talking about gap, or the gap man, or gap, or an opening, or a chasm. So there is an opening in time. Remember we talked about last week, the one said, listen, open up your circle so that you can move on, so that you can receive your annuity. Open up, there's a gap, a fissure. Watch this. So no direction, no moment, no consequences. All of this is coming out of without form and void and darkness, chaos, confusion, no moment. There's no moment. Watch this. Moment in physics. Well, how can you talk about physics and thought you just simply talk about mathematics, right? No, I have a degree in physics as well. So this information is proven. In physics, watch this. A moment is the rotational effect of a force of an object around a fixed point or pivot. It's mathematical expression that's calculated by multiplying the force by the distance from the pivot. So we see that there is a distance, a separation. Come on, somebody. A separation. There's also a force involved. There is a movement or direction. Wait a minute. Direction, speed, moment. That sounds like quantum energy, quantum mechanics, quantum physics, quantum mathematics. Having speed, direction, locality that's hard to detect. So if you look at it, it's a separation in what? In time. We're not bound by time. You got to see what I'm getting at. I'm bringing information to show you that you're not bound by time, so that you can get out of your own way. When things happen, you think you have to follow this step-by-step model. And I proved to you last week that discontinuity is not bound by steps, because it's connected to causality. And causality means at the time you discover it, the time you see it or observe it, it becomes now your cause and effect. There's no systematic step to say you have to follow these prescribed orders in order to have a cause and effect. Doesn't operate like that. But a moment, oh my goodness. So in the beginning, things were without form, without void. Things without form and void, and there was darkness, right? You have to see it's all relating to time. But watch this. I translated this and broke it all the way down and showed you the development of it, but I'm getting back to the word moment. Because when you look at it from a physics standpoint, moment, and I'll read it again, is a rotational effect of a force, of an object around a fixed point. That's a moment. In other words, a spin. Watch this. And I'm going to get to this timeline here in a minute. Oh my goodness. Man, this is good to me. Hola. Kids Inspirations Queen, what's going on? What's going on? See you in the house. Watch this. Factors that affect a moment. The magnitude of the force and the distance of the pivot. Watch this. A moment also has direction. The direction of the moment can either be clockwise or counterclockwise. You don't have to spin in a certain direction. Things can be spinning out of control. You can reverse it. You can spin the other way. You can cause inertia to happen. Inertia, an object resisting a change in motion, or an object at rest can remain at rest. An object in motion can remain in motion unless acted on by an outside force. That's inertia. Watch this. Multiple forces. When multiple forces act on an object, the total amount or the total moment is the sum of all the individual moments. Somebody has to tell me what that's talking about. Listen to this. We've talked about something here. So when multiple forces act on an object, the total moment is the sum of all individual moments. That sounds like synergy to me. It's the sum of all the parts. So my individual time frames, my discontinuities can still cause me to increase, can cause me to grow, can cause me to be successful, can cause me to think in a positive manner, even though they're separate thoughts, because they have synergy connected to them. Synergy. Moment also means torque. You can put a torque on something and cause it to spin, cause it to move, cause it to rotate, cause it to orbit. You can put a torque on something. Torque is defined by force times lever arm. So you can have a long lever arm or a long wrench and put some force on it. Natural force and a force of gravity will cause a thing to spin or to open, as opposed to a smaller wrench. You put a smaller wrench on it, you don't have as much torque. But you put that long arm, that long extension on it. Yeah, sometimes we have to reach far. That's why we reach out to you and ask you to donate and sow and to support. We're reaching out so we can have a pivot, some torque on it. We want to put some torque on it. Places we couldn't have gone by ourselves. You help us to get there. Donation methods are on the timeline as I continue to walk. I just want to walk and talk with you for just a second. So watch this. I'm almost done with you. So the earth, or you and I, at certain instances, were without form or without void. Didn't have any consequences. There was chaos. There was a moment. A moment represents a spin. So wait a minute. So in the beginning, the earth was without a moment. Now, see how all this connects. The earth was without a moment. In other words, the earth wasn't spinning. It was without a moment. It didn't have a pivot. It wasn't spinning or orbiting. This for those who say the earth is flat. That the earth is, no, it's round. In the beginning, watch this, it said the evening and the morning were the first day. So as it spins around and orbits around the sun, it's not the sun orbiting around all the planets, it's the planets orbiting around the sun. Guess what? As it spins, it created a moment. Come on, somebody. It created discontinuity. Oh, it was orbiting, it was spinning. The earth was without form and void. It didn't have a moment. But as it began to spin, guess what? As it spins around, part of the earth gets on another part of the sun, guess what? It becomes the next day. The evening and the morning was the first day. So it was spinning. Let there be. In other words, Hayah. Come on, somebody. The earth was without a moment. It began to spin. It began to orbit. It had its moment. There was a break in this discontinuity. There was silence. There was nothing. There was chaos, confusion, mayhem, and madness. All of a sudden, the earth began to rotate. It began to spin. Well, how did it just stay out there? We don't understand about this thing called gravity. Well, there's certain things called centripetal and centrifugal force. The force to keep things spinning outwardly and a force pulling it in so that it doesn't go out. So that it doesn't spin away from its rotation and orbiting. Come on, somebody. Yes. Just when you think you're spinning out of control, things are spinning out of control in your life. Balance the two forces and say, listen, I got just enough force to keep me spinning outwardly so I can stay in rotation. I can stay in rotation. Sometimes you just got to keep sowing until things happen. You got to keep it in rotation. You got to keep it afloat. You got to keep it spin. You got to keep it in orbit. You got to keep a moment. Sometimes we just need a moment to ourselves. Sometimes we just need to sit still and create a moment. But within that quiet, still moment, we create movement because that's what a moment is. We create negative and positive effects. What is that? Dipole moment. Yeah, magnetism. A dipole moment. Di means two. Woo! I'm causing this north and south to communicate. I'm causing things that are apart to communicate. Quantum entanglement. I'm communicating with it. It may be out there, but I'm communicating with it so that I can stir up some movement. I can get some movement going. Oh my goodness. Hayah. And the moment came forth, the one, the earth, was without a moment. Come on here. Centripetal and centrifugal force. One keeping it outwardly, and one a force pulling it in, so we don't get out of bounds. It's like putting a ball on a string, and I'm spinning that ball. I'm twirling it. There's a force keeping it going out, and there's a force pushing inward so that it stays in rotation. I need a moment. Somebody put on the timeline, I need a moment. I need a moment.
I need a moment right now. I need a moment.
Come on here.
I need a moment right now.
Listen, if you're with me, as I take this station identification break, and we're going to get out in a second. If you're with me, somebody put a one on the timeline.
I need a moment.
In fact, put one moment.
I need one moment.
Somebody put one moment on the timeline.
I need one moment. Right now, right now, right now.
Come on.
I need one moment. Right now. I need one moment. Right now. I need one moment. One right now. One moment. I need it right now. I need a moment. Just one moment.
Come on, Prince of Peace.
Oh, one moment right now. One moment right now. One moment right now. I need you right now.
Come on, one moment.
One moment.
Yeah.
One moment.
Stretch the love in the house. What's going on? Stretch the love.
Now, right now.
One moment. Sometimes you got to tell somebody, I need one moment. Go ahead, Prince of Peace. I'm just talking.
I need one moment. Do you need one too? I know you do. I need one moment right now. One moment right now. One moment right now. I need a moment. I need a moment. I need a moment.
Come on, yes, sir.
I need my queen to sing with me.
Come on,
I need a moment.
come on, okay, Roy the Rain. Give us a moment.
There's the same one moment.
Come on. Yeah, come on. Well, come on, sing to him. Yeah, come on. Come on. Come on. Listen, if you need a moment right now to take this opportunity to donate to the truth session, please do so. Just take a moment. I promise you, the one, the apostle, the prophet, the cosmic commander, appreciate every moment, every opportunity you take to support this family. That's right, the Truth Session family. If you become a part of the Truth Session, you're part of the Truth Session family. Those of you who are listening on the outside might not have come directly in, but you're listening. Thank you as well. You're still sending out the feed. You're still sending out the energy. Thank you for that moment you decided to show up. We're so grateful and thankful and appreciative of those who send their love. We've got some other things in store, and we thank you for financially supporting us. Oh. We were without form and void. And all of a sudden we needed a moment. And we needed some movement. And we began to spin. We began to orbit. We began to rotate around those things that appeared to be staring at us. We needed to shine. The backside of us was facing the opposite side of the sun. We began to spin, and we spun away from that which was visible. It was dark. It was koshek in Hebrew, darkness. It was chaotic and confused. There was chaos and confusion. We began to spin, and we spun our way around where there was light. Because we said, oh yeah, let there be. Come into existence. Come into being. Manifest yourself. Be present. Be present and accounted for. Right above the situations and circumstances. I am here to tell you that you don't have to be defeated. Yeah, you don't have to be defeated. You don't have to be bound. Take this moment, this dipole moment. This dipole moment. I'm going to give you a quick definition and we're going to get out of here. Dipole moment. Dipole moment. Occurs in a system in which there is a separation of positive and negative electrical charges. Therefore, they can be found in both ionic and covalent bonding. We talked about that for so long. Covalent, those outer shell bondings and electrons, creating a connection, creating a relationship at a moment. When we needed a relationship, I needed a moment so I could covalently bond it with you. My valence, my outer shell, that which was on the outside of me, independent of what was on the inside of me, connected and made a connection with my electrical system, a dipole moment. It's a result of unequal electron distribution, which occurs due to differences in electronegativity. Boy, this is powerful. All of that energy. I needed a moment. I needed a connection. I needed a dipole moment. I needed to create some energy. Protons, neutrons, electrons. 666. Yeah. 6 being the number of man. Atom. Not atom. Atom. Carbon. Come on. Our makeup. We automatically created a moment, a dipole moment, because our electrons, neutrons, and protons were involved. I don't care what it is. If you convince yourself, you reveal to yourself that you are more powerful than you could ever imagine. Far beyond what you have ever fathomed. ever imagine. Far beyond. We are stronger than our deepest fear, because fear is an illusion anyway. But as the one said, danger is real. Fear is an illusion. Listen, once again, we thank you for tuning in today to the Truth Session, where your thoughts really count, things really matter. So this one ought to hold you once again, so hold what you got. Muse over it. Cogitate upon it. Ponder over it. To both our Facebook and YouTube families, govern yourselves accordingly. Until next time, we say Shalom Aleichem. Fish the talk. Peace be unto you, family.